How are you all? Wednesday. Days are flying by. Starting to get the room. Niall and Robert and them have been down here in the office in the auction room trying to get the bottles in order, and they've been working Trojan, so it's starting to take shape. As always, every month, that's what we have to do, and then it makes our job a wee bit easier after the packing. Today, let's celebrate Irish. Let's shout it from the rooftops. So one of the things that happened, I think, was over the weekend or towards the end of last week. Jameson had announced that they had sold 10 million cases.
Yeah, Jameson.
Oh my God. Yeah, but there is Jameson. I mean, people dismiss Jameson as just being a run-of-the-mill blended Irish whiskey and for shots and all that sort of stuff. It is really leading the charge on getting Irish whiskey, out there to the world, getting it into markets. I mean, into, African countries, South Africa, Nigeria, places like that are just going mad for Jameson whiskey. And we sort of have this weird relationship with it. As I said, I mentioned the other day about the Jameson 15-year-old, the new Jameson 15-year-old, and even prior to that, the Jameson 21, the Jameson 18s. I noticed that they've now done a repackaging of the Jameson 18 with the new green boxes and all that sort of stuff. And I think it's them trying to cultivate a love for the brand that people sort of struggle to embrace. And the reason I put up a few of the Jamesons today is to sort of say, look, don't overlook it. They've, from an investment point of view, for drinking whiskey, it's cracking drinking whiskey. But from an investment point of view, it's been really, really good. I mean, some of the bottles have done mad returns. I mean, the cask mates, we've spoken about that on a few occasions. If you were lucky enough to have a Great Divide, the price it went for is way in excess of what anybody would have paid for it. So I put up the thanks a million. So this is the one to celebrate. I think it was 9 million or 1 million in the USA, or 3 million in total. 3 million it was selling then. It's now 10 million a year. It just shows the legs in this. I mean, it has just gone bananas. That is a limited edition one. That was the first of the Paddy's Day special releases. And again, nobody sort of gave that the time of day at the time. I think that was 2010 when it came out. We did have one in an auction before. It done really, really well. It done fantastic. And again, for what people would dismiss as a 25, 30 euro bottle of Jameson. This is an oddity.
It's cool. It
is Jameson Naked. So, we have the Naked Grouse in America, I bet, and in Scotland for the grouse whiskies. Yes. Bet you didn't know we had a Naked Jameson. So no label on it, but the actual label is embossed into the label, and it's got the seal there and the whole lot. It's a cracker. Another limited edition. First time I had seen one of those. Really, really nice.
A naked Jemmie.
A naked Jameson.
No, a naked Jemmie.
Naked Jemmie.
Yeah, sounds better.
Right, okay.
Sorry.
As opposed to a naked Anthony.
Naked Jemmie.
Alright, okay. Here's one I haven't seen yet as well. I don't know, I haven't done a wee bit of homework on it. I just seen it on the shelf. Home Sweet Home, and that's the Bow Street Distillery. The label's done like a stamp with the serrated edge and that on it as well. Actually. 1 litre bottle, Home Sweet Home. Again, Jameson. I mean, it's we've got it here. We've got the brand home in Dublin. Well, Dublin's got the brand home, where people come from all over the world to go to Jameson. On a par with Guinness. It's a brand name that carries the world over. Here is a special Japanese edition, isn't it?
Yes.
What's the origami for opening this box?
Just lift it. Something funny. Just lift it.
Yeah, so lift it. And that drops down like that there. And that lifts up like that there. It's like Tetris, except worse. Another special release Jameson presentation that I'd never seen before. Again, these things just come across our path every now and then. It definitely came out of Japan because it's got all the Japanese writing on it. So that's what sort of gives the clue there.
There you go.
So that's Jameson. As I say, I think there's times it needs more love, or it needs just shouting from the rooftop exactly what we've got in Jameson, because it's a massive one. It really is a massive one.
And it is a nice liquid.
Yeah. Jemmie and ginger. It's lovely.
Can't be the
Jemmie and ginger is just a cracking whiskey, a cracking drink.
Yeah.
On these hot summer balmy days, loads of ice in it, a bit of fruit in it. I know you don't like your fruit in it, but I think it's a bit of lime in it. Really, really lovely drink. I put a wee umbrella on the top of it and I could drink it with my pinky out.
There you go.
Writer's Tears. Bernard Walsh has created something fantastic. I really do, and I applaud what Bernard and Rosemary have created with the whole Irishman and the Writer's Tears brand. They've done great work. They've had a few knockbacks, a few setbacks with the distillery and all that sort of stuff, but they still keep at it, and they've, great that they were invested in or bought out there last year or this year or whenever it was, because I've no idea time at the minute. But hopefully they still get to steer the ship, because they've been really, really good in doing things what they've done to date. Enniskillen Ice Wine Cask. Again, people were loving that one and raving about that one. And then there was a Ulysses Centenary Edition brought out recently to celebrate Ulysses and writing the wee poem that he wrote, whatever he wrote. Yeah, I did. Have you ever read Ulysses?
Nope.
Have you even looked at any of it?
Nope.
Enough said. Sinead, back end at the further end, we've two whiskies again I just wanted to shout about. Teeling Pot Still, and that one's was one of the Wonders of Wood Brandy PX and Chestnut Cask, and this was a Dubliner 5 in a row. Obviously that's a bit of a collector's item now at the minute, seeing how bad Dublin been playing lately.
Oops.
I think they're getting better. Now don't come at me, I know nothing about football, so I'm only just sticking a boot into likes of Paul O'Farrell and Richard and all the guys who are big Dublin fans. But 5 in a row, the Dublin are a nice one to have. This one I wanted to talk about, and the reason I wanted to talk about that one was Teeling's, in their reincarnation in Dublin, brought back distilling to Dublin.
Yes.
They took a bit of flack, and I would have been, I'll stand up straight and say, Pot Still 1 wasn't the greatest liquid I've ever tasted in my life.
No.
And that's being polite. But
then you learn something.
Then I learned something. So one of the things that was not perhaps conveyed correctly at the time was the evolution of the story. And I think Dingle had the same issue as well when people were buying batch 1 and batch 2, or when people came later to Dingle and they went back and bought batch 1 and drank it and went, oh, that's not great. It was an evolution, and the story didn't get across right. And I think people come, when they buy a product, they expect it to be kabam and it's right and it's ready. These Wonders of Wood that people have been talking about recently, about the Chinkapin and the Amarone and all that, the Chinkapin is lovely. That's the same mash bill, it's the same recipe, it's the same distillate, it's just had more time in the barrels.
Yes.
And it tells. It is a far, far superior product. Pot Still, anybody who knows whiskies will say, 5-7 years is only when Pot Still starts to come right. It does need that time in a barrel just to soften it off a wee bit. That initial Pot Still spice can be too much for people at times. So I think we need to celebrate these whiskies and celebrate the story that Teeling were telling at the time, or weren't telling at the time. Didn't get the message across.
Because it was a journey of their liquid from when they...
But they didn't tell us that at the time. They just put this out and said, here you go, first whiskey, and everybody expected it to be fantastic, and when it wasn't, people went,
Yeah.
So I just wanted to raise that. I was listening to Laurie and Robert Caldwell talking during the week in Laurie's podcast, and it really was an education in that he was telling the story. I didn't even know, and I would be a Teeling, I wouldn't say fanboy anymore, I'm beginning to fall out of love with him.
Don't start.
I can't get my t-shirts.
Don't start. Carry on.
But I didn't even know that it's the same, exact same stuff. It's just had the time in the barrel from 2015 when it was there. So enough of that. To the top, to legacies.
Can I just jump back on something?
Go on.
On the Ulysses, it's to celebrate James Joyce.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you didn't say his name.
I couldn't remember it.
All right, okay. That's fine, carry on.
Kitty, I do well to remember my name.
I know.
Never mind some bloke who read a book that I'm never going to read. I might, in my olden days, sit with a cigar or a pipe in me.
Or you could read his dirty letters to his missus.
You said something about that before.
They are horrendously, woefully. Oh my God.
Yeah.
I blushed.
Yeah. Jesus, that takes a lot.
I know.
Right. And on Katie blushing to me blushing. Legacy Irish whiskies. Peated whiskey is all in vogue at the minute. Everybody's talking about it. Waterford's done their first peated whiskey, and everybody's it's fantastic. Lads,
It's been going on a while.
it's been going on a while. We've been doing it a wee while. The first one, and that one is a nice one to have, the Bog Oak, particularly because, nice presentation, but it also got a wee bag with a bit of wooden barrel in it.
Yes.
No, a bit of the Bog Oak in it. It's lovely. I think it's rustic, it's lovely. They were all handwritten things. Alex Chasko, again, tip of the hat to the Teeling, his creations. But this was Alex's first baby as well. So that's the Connoisseurs collection, and that is a Bog Oak, and they should be going for lots and lots and lots and lots. Faircullen, 5 elements, one of the new incarnations. Again, I thought I'd continue with having Noel Sweeney's name on the front of it. So the reason why Noel's name is on the front of Faircullen stuff is because he did distill it when he was in Cooley. So again, 5 elements is one of the ones that everybody raves about. It just shows the skill of that man when he can bring a whiskey like that to market. Middleton, 30-year-old, why aren't they worth €30,000? €1,000 for every year of its age. It is just their legacy, lads. Their legacy. I think everybody knows my thoughts on legacy Irish whiskey. Instead of paying whatever for modern stuff, I think collectors are building collections that are taking up huge amount of shelf space. You thin that down, and a lot of people are doing it, thinning it down, selling off their many bottles, putting that money into one bottle. It sits on the shelf. It's going to go up. It will. And then these two were to celebrate that. The 28-year-old Method of Madness, the 31-year-old Method of Madness. I mean, there's only 84 bottles in that 31-year-old from that cask. There is 2 casks of it. 486 of the 28-year-old. With the new Mizunara at 275 bottles, I think it is, has this kicked them on as well. And then our Dungorney.
The magical cask.
The magic cask. The never-ending cask. But again, they still do rate them as a collector's piece. I really do rate them, and I think they should be going better than they are. I think that's maybe me. Maybe I didn't give the legacy stuff enough, but I think people know my thoughts on legacy stuff. I think it is the stuff where the real value is, and if you look at the well-established markets like Scotland and even the bigger auctions that do it, they're the ones that go to top dollar. The other stuff, not so much.
You think you're done?
I think I'm done. Oh! Kim Jong-un rang me yesterday afternoon. He rang me.
He didn't.
Oh, well, it was one of his minions, obviously. And he said, sorry, I've El Presidente on the phone. And I was talking to him, and apparently they have got a North Korean whiskey. So is there anywhere else that doesn't have a whiskey?
There you go.
I throw it at you. Somebody come and tell me that they found a country, El Salvador or Trinidad and Tobago or one of these places that doesn't have a whiskey, and I'll be go chasing it. Or somebody tell me one that does. We're back tomorrow, which is Thursday. I haven't a breeze what I'm going to talk about tomorrow, but we'll work it out.
We'll probably root out some nice scotches, maybe.
Yeah.
If there's anything new, wild or exciting.
Yes. That's it. And tonight we are in Dublin. You're drinking on the boat tonight.
I'm drinking.
Faircullen tonight.
Yes, I am.
I'm driving.
Yes, you are.
Lovely.
Well, right. You got to drink on a train.
I did get to drink on a train. Yeah. You get to drink on a boat.
Yes.
Yay.
Happy days.
Right, we'll talk to you. Bye.